What is up, though, Lions fans? It's your boy Chef, and you already know what time it is. It is time for the YAK Pod episode number 20, baby. We rolling right along. But today, what we're gonna do is something a little bit different. This morning, I was watching Wake Up Woodward on the Woodward Sports Network, and my man KG had a segment. It was called Undercover GM, and it looked pretty fun, so I wanted try my hand at it. I'm gonna be the undercover GM. We can get into Allen Park, and they're gonna allow us to make some picks and do some signings. All right, so basically the rules are, as KG stated, that you have to have one player that you will definitely sign in free agency, and you have to have one player that you will definitely draft, and then you have one player that you will not resign or you will cut from the team, right? So basically, like, money is notwithstanding, this is a fantasy type of situation. So let's get right into it, man. The player that I am going to draft, let me start with free agency, right? We'll leave the draft for a little bit later. The player that I am going to sign, definitely, money notwithstanding, is Jalen Johnson, we hope to be former Chicago Bear, right? Jalen Johnson was a lockdown corner in every sense of the word. He was granted permission to seek a trade around the trade deadline, but they couldn't work anything out. So if he's not going to go back to Chicago, and it would be crazy for Chicago to let him out of the building. But if he doesn't get back to Chicago, I'm definitely signing this guy. He's going to lock down one side of the field. Cam Sutton is going to move into the number 2 corner position if we don't sign someone else. But again, this is money is not an option type of situation. I'm going to go ahead and grab Jalen Johnson, and we're going to solidify that one side of the field. We're going to lock down the Mike Evans. We're going to lock down the CD Lambs. We're going to lock down the Justin Jeffersons. We're going to lock down all these number 1 receivers, and Cam Sutton can get healthy and then come off the turf toe, and then he can help to be the number 2 corner, which is what his original position is supposed to be. I don't think that Cam Sutton is a number 1 corner. I'm not as low on Cam Sutton as many of you are, because I understand that he has a turf toe injury, or he had a turf toe injury in the second or the back end of the season. So he wasn't as polished and as fluid as he was in the beginning of the season, when no one said too much anything about Cam Sutton. So anyway, that's what we're gonna do for our signing. Now, the player that we are going to draft is going to be Jared Verse. Now, Jared Verse is widely recognized as the best edge rusher in this draft class. He actually I've seen him kind of mocked anywhere between the top 5 and number 13, right? So this is a fantasy situation, but if the man starts falling for whatever reason, and he's around at 15 and he's not picked, which I believe is is a pipe dream, Brad Holmes, look for him to trade up and grab this guy. But this is not about Brad Holmes. Brad Holmes is not the GM of the Detroit Lions in this situation. I am. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take Jared Verse, and I'm going to pair him with Hutch on the other side, and we're going to have a monster defensive line, because Jared Verse is a monster. He wins with power. He wins with finesse. He's got a great first step. I mean, I've seen him swim 2 defenders. He's like back to back and get the sack or get the the tackle for loss in the backfield. I mean, this guy is incredible. He's scheme agnostic, they say, but he does have some issues with coverage. And so if he was in a 3-4 stand up, or if he was a 3-4 outside linebacker, he would have difficulties in space and in coverage. So I wouldn't really say that he's kind of scheme agnostic. I'm saying he's better with his hand in the dirt, and he's just rushing the passer. He's also pretty good against the run. He sets the edge well. He uses his body to get off blocks, or to take up the block on his shoulder, and then he goes after the running back or the quarterback if he's running an option or whatever the case may be. So he's pretty versatile. He's got versatile moves, pass rush moves. He's adept at getting to the passer. So if I'm drafting anyone, I'm drafting Jared Verse because we need to shore up our defensive line. Whether it's the interior or whether it's on the edge, we need help in that area. We need to pair someone with Aleem McNeil, and we need to pair someone with Hutch on the other side. And hopefully Brad Holmes does that, but this is not about Brad Holmes. This is about me, all right? This is about GM Chef. So now, the player that I'm not bringing back, and if you've seen my other episodes, I'm not bringing back Jonah Jackson. I just can't do it. I'm not bringing back Jonah Jackson. I'm not about to pay a player who wants a lot of money and can't stay on the field. I'll say it again. In the last 2 seasons, Jonah Jackson has missed 10 games. Last game, he missed the NFC Championship game. Or I should say, last season, he missed the NFC Championship game. And that just can't fly, man. You're not available. I can't bring you back on a contract that is not extremely incentive laden, depending on how many games that you play. You must be available to play games. Now, it's not like there's a trend of his missed games and injuries going down. He missed 4, then 6. Not 6, then 4. He missed 4, then 6. So the season before last, he missed 4 games. Last season, he missed 6 games. Now, I'm not a mathematician. Math wasn't my best subject in school, but 4 is less than 6, which means if he missed 6 the season before last and 4 this last season, then we could say, maybe he's trending in the right direction and his games missed is getting lower. Now we're going in the other direction, right? He missed 4 the season before last and 6 this last season. He missed more games this last season than he missed the season before last. And he's an offensive lineman. He's a big dude. He's 300 pounds plus, and he's got lower body injuries, right? So I'm just not doing that. I'm not bringing him back. Obviously, that's going to create some other things. We need to draft an offensive lineman. We need to sign a guard in free agency. Obviously, we're supposed to be bringing back Graham Glasgow. They've already told him that they want to bring him back. So hopefully negotiations have started. And it won't be a situation where he leaves again and goes to Denver or some other franchise, to get the bag. So hopefully we can take care of Graham Glasgow. We've cut Tracy Walker, so those are some savings there. $5.5 million in savings. I don't think they're going to cut Kamish, but if they cut Kamish, that would be another $4.5 million in savings. So that would be, another $10 million that we have to sign a Graham Glasgow and hopefully, a CJ GJ. But that's neither here nor there. So let me know what you guys think about my pick of Jared Verse, my signing of Jalen Johnson, and my cutting or not bringing back of Jonah Jackson. It's a shorter episode today. I just wanted to go ahead and get my Undercover GM picks out there, and hopefully the rest of you guys will join in the comments. Let me know who you would pick, who you would sign, and who you would cut or not bring back. And that's it for today. As I always say, subscribe, smash that like button, share. You got to be a friend. You got to tell a friend. You got to let them know what we're doing in this kitchen. You got to know. You got to let them know what's cooking. You got to let them know what's going on. So, as always, until next time, peace.